Hey there, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here, giving you an update on our very hot forecast. The next few days are going to be very hot, very humid, even a little bit hotter than what we would consider normal or average here in South Mississippi. Of course, it's always hot and humid during the summer, but the next few days are going to be extra hot. So we better get prepared for that. Hopefully your AC is working well and it does not break down over the next few days. So we'll go ahead and take a look at our temperature forecast tomorrow. And temperature wise, we're likely going to be getting into the mid 90s. Maybe a few spots getting closer to 95, 96, a little bit farther inland. On the coast, we're more so looking at the low to mid 90s. Of course, when you factor in the high humidity, that's going to make it even make it feel even hotter outside, making it more difficult for our bodies to cool down pretty efficiently. Heat index tomorrow may be approaching 110 at times. So if you don't take precautions such as staying hydrated, taking some breaks in the AC, in the shade, wearing some loose light fitted clothing, you do run the risk of getting heat stroke or heat exhaustion. Again, signs to watch out for if you're feeling dizzy, if you're feeling nauseous. Worse than that, if you know of somebody that's going in and out of consciousness, you really want to make sure you stay aware of that. At that point, you call 911. We don't want anyone to get a heat stroke, that's for sure. So even though some of us may be a little more acclimated to it, just take it easy if you have to be outside for long periods of time tomorrow, and especially in that direct sunlight. UV index tomorrow will be considered extreme as well. As for this evening, things are nice and calm. We did see a few showers and storms across the area today, but not everyone saw that rain. And in fact, many of us seems like missed out on the rain today. We're still in the mid 80s on the coast, no shortage of humidity. Last we checked, the heat index is still at 95, even though we are well past the sunset. We've got a few upper 70s a little bit farther inland, closer to the coast. Last we checked in on those temperatures, were more so in the low to mid 80s, and we're only cooling down into the mid to upper 70s by Sunday morning. First alert radar, nice and quiet. We had some of those summertime showers and storms earlier today. For some of us, not everyone got that rain, which is typical of this time of the year, and it does seem like now that we've lost some of the daytime heating, there's not as much energy in the atmosphere. We're not seeing as many showers and storms. A little bit of some cloud cover left over here or there, but other than that, not much to it. Now again, tomorrow it is going to be incredibly hot. There will be a heat advisory in effect for all of South Mississippi beginning at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's after that time frame we may see the heat index as high as 105 up to 110. Actual temperatures are going to be in the mid 90s for the most part, and I have to say a good portion of the lower 48 going to be dealing with the heat over the next day or so. Check out all of the extreme heat watches, extreme heat warnings across the country. Some of that even goes up into the upper Midwest. The Carolinas today, they were seeing some pretty extreme heat. And the reason why is because they were almost centered underneath that ridge of high pressure. When we get a ridge of high pressure in the summertime, we get sinking air. That warms as it nears the surface. And with sinking air, we don't see as much cloud cover, nor do we see as much rain. So today, that center of that ridge of high pressure, a little bit to our east, it's going to be moving westward over us tomorrow, Monday, and into Tuesday. But now by Tuesday, we'll start to move farther to the west, but because it's getting closer to us the next few days, it is going to be really hot, really humid. I know I sound like a broken record. There's really not much more to the forecast the next few days other than that. Now, there still could be maybe one or two stray showers or thunderstorms that pop up tomorrow. Overall, rain chances are looking pretty slim thanks to that ridge of high pressure. We'll do it again on Monday. I do expect Monday to be one of the hottest days of this upcoming week. We'll start off in the mid to upper 70s. By the afternoon, we're likely going to be in the upper 90s. As you can imagine, the heat index is going to be much higher than that, close to 110, maybe even 111, 112, not out of the question. Rain chances Monday, still looking pretty slim. Once we get into Tuesday, we do have a better chance of seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms, but the first part of Tuesday is still going to be incredibly hot. I'm still anticipating high temperatures in the upper 90s, but if we do see more rain and cloud cover in the afternoon, we have a decent chance to cool down a little bit more by the end of the day. Heat index tomorrow, I say between 105 and 110. Heat advisory will be in effect. Monday looks hotter than Sunday. Actual temperatures more so in the upper 90s. Heat index I do expect to be closer to 110. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets above 110 at times. I also would not be completely shocked if the National Weather Service issues an extreme heat warning by Monday, maybe even into Tuesday. Regardless of advisories or warnings, it's going to be hot. And we'll do it again on Tuesday. I will say we do have a better chance of being a little cooler by the afternoon if we get some of those showers and storms. Now, I've stopped this at about 11 o'clock Tuesday morning before we would likely see any rain. Obviously, it's going to be very hot with the heat index close to 110, maybe even a little bit higher than that. So once we get past Tuesday, not that it's going to be cool by any means, but our temperatures are going to be closer to average at that point. Still expecting the upper 80s and low 90s, but the reason why it doesn't look to be as hot by the end of the week is because we'll have our rain chances a little bit higher at that point. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I do think the coverage of rain is going to be a little bit more scattered, a little bit more widespread at that time. We've got rain chances at about 40% right now. They may increase just a little bit. Doesn't look like one particular day is going to be a complete washout by any means, but we'll have a better chance of seeing some rain. Thus, we'll have a better chance of seeing some cloud cover as well. We've got a little bit more moisture working along the northern Gulf Coast thanks to an easterly wave as we get into Thursday and Friday. So with a little bit more moisture in the atmosphere, we'll have a better chance of seeing some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. Just a quick, brief update on the tropics. I'm glad it gets to be brief, and that's because no new development at this point is expected over the next 7 days. The tropics nice and quiet for the time being. So overall, looks like we're going to be wrapping up the month of July fairly quiet in the tropics. I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. Now, once we get into August, especially the end of August, the middle of August, that's when we usually see the Atlantic Basin really become more active. But at least the time being, things are quiet. However, we have a ways to go before the end of hurricane season, and we still have not gone through the thick of it. So still a great idea to be on guard as we get into August. But at least it looks like we're wrapping up the month of July with the tropics remaining pretty quiet. Unfortunately, though, it is going to be very hot, very humid the next 2 to 3 days. The second half to Tuesday, we may see more showers and storms. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, the heat going to be a little bit more manageable with temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s. We'll have a better chance for a few more showers by the end of the week. But like I said at the very beginning, hopefully your AC is working well over the next couple of days because you'll want it, that's for sure. And if you need access to AC, a great way to do so, take a walk in the mall, maybe find a Starbucks, a fast food restaurant just to help you cool down a little bit because it is going to be really hot over the next few days, especially if you have to be in that direct sunlight. So we'll have another update on your forecast coming up within about the next 15 minutes on WLOX, ABC, and CBS. Hopefully you can join us there, not only for the latest on your forecast, but we'll have the latest news as well.